Hello and welcome to Philly Close Up. When stars come to Philly, we get you close up. And today we are with Nnamdi Asomugha and Colin Warner, and we are talking all about their new film, Crown Heights. Welcome to Philly. Well, welcome back to Philly for you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
I have to start by saying this is such a compelling story. I hadn't heard about it prior to seeing the film, but it's heartbreaking, it's moving, and it's also a story that I think presently is very important, especially with everything in the climate of our country right now. But I wanted to know, how did this all come together in terms of turning this story into a film?
Well, this is the real man right here.
Yeah.
This is Colin Warner. He was convicted of a murder that he didn't do. Spent 21 years in prison. His best friend, Carl King, fought to get him out. And This American Life, NPR radio show, did a piece on their story, and our director, Matt Ruskin, heard the piece and was just so moved by Colin's story that he said, I want to turn it into a film, and that's how it kind of all got started.
Now, for you, making the transition from football and the Eagles, and Philadelphia had lots of love for you when you were here. Yeah. What made you want to make the decision to transition into film and production and acting?
Yeah, I kind of stumbled into producing. That I had produced a film called Beast of No Nation, but that wasn't my goal. It just happened, and I fell in love with the process, so I kept going. But as far as acting, I really just wanted to find something that, in football you have that energy from the crowd, and it gets you going. I really wanted to find something that could bring that back in me, even at a smaller scale, and acting turned out to be the thing.
Wow. Colin, for you, what was it like seeing your story play out on the big screen?
It was kind of eerie, but I believe this is a story that takes 37 years to be told. I believe this is a story of every black man in America. So this is my telling the public what has been going on for years. Because I was arrested in 1980, and I believe the same thing is happening in 2017. So this movie is a voice of the unheard.
Yeah, with Ava DuVernay's 13th, there's been a lot more discussion on our justice system that often isn't as just as it should be, particularly for people of color. So with this film, was your goal to not only tell this story that happened in 1980, but is still currently happening now, but also to push people to do something to change it?
Yes, I believe from this film, this movie, you will see compassion for another human being. You will see determination, you will see strength, and hopefully it will affect people out here who are going through problems currently but feel they have no answer for their problems. So the work that Carl King had did and is doing now, I believe is important. I believe a lot of us could do positive work because we need more positive in this world.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about Carl King. You play Carl King in the story, and Carl spends the 21 years that you're in prison.
He did with me.
21 years. He did those 21 years with you, trying to prove your innocence, fighting appeal after appeal. How closely did you work on that story, and just in terms of really embodying that character?
Very close. I mean, Carl is an ordinary guy that saw an injustice to his friend and said, I'm going to do the extraordinary. But he didn't go in thinking that it was going to take 21 years.
Right.
And I'm sure he had tons of help in the beginning, the first weeks. Let's get him out. And then, over time, people fall off.
Yeah.
And he was just one guy that did not give up. And you talk to him today, he's that type of person. He's very determined, self-motivated. If he starts something, he's got to finish it. And just really believed in Colin and knew that Colin had nothing to do with it. And I think he suffered with Colin while Colin was in prison, and I think that heartache is what led him to getting him out.
One of the pieces of the film that I thought was particularly powerful was at the end where it showed you on camera and you're talking, and you had this really positive outlook on things. How are you able to remain as positive as you are, knowing that you spent 21 years of your life were stolen? How are you able to remain as positive as you are?
But just as how suddenly my life was snatched away, it was suddenly given back to me. So that moment when I first come out of prison, I was there but not there. But people ask me why I'm not the angriest man in America, right?
I was angry for you. Just watching it, I was.
But maintaining it and keeping an anger would have left me in a more destructive pattern. And my goal was to get out with as much sanity as I could possibly maintain out of this situation I was in. I always had hope that someday people would hear my story and know and feel that I was not supposed to be there. This hope lasted 21 years. Right in the movie, when you hear I said, or Mr. Keith, I hope this is not a dream. Right? That was my mantra.
Don't let me be in a cell.
Don't let me be in a
even
cell
though I
every
am
day.
hearing the prison songs around me, but my eyes haven't been opened yet, but I'm still praying that, listen, when I open my eyes, let it be not a cell. Right? So again, faith, right? Yeah, I may have wobbled in a couple of years, but we all do. And the trick is, or for me, what I had was to do was to maintain that faith. And that is where Carl King came in, that is where my wife came in. They kept me moving. I remember when I was hit at the parole board for the third time, and I kind of fell off. And 3 months later, I called my wife and she said, Negro, what the hell is you doing? You gonna just give up? All this fighting, and that gives me more power to stand up and say, okay, let's go again. Because I was never going to stop fighting. Right? And if you get this out of the movie, peace and love. Right? I am not a messenger. This is just an event, a tragedy that I did not create. Right, we all go through periods like that, but we have to fight through. Don't never give up.
Don't ever give up. Well, we want to support this film. I mean, it's so many things in this film that people need to see. Seeing how injustice our system can be, seeing how things are often rigged against people of color, sometimes any black or brown body will do. Seeing that jail isn't really any type of rehabilitation, especially when you're putting people in solitary confinement. So what can we all do as a collective to push towards change and to get things to change? What do you think we can do?
I don't have the blueprint. All I can say is to get up. Keep on moving, right? Because without movement, there's no change, right? We are all Americans. As you say, we pay taxes, we vote, we go on the jury, make a difference. Don't be silent.
What would you say, Nnamdi?
I'd say the same thing. I'd also say just find a way to bring your activism to the forefront. We did it through art. Even if you're just getting a group of people to go support movies like this, and then you're having a conversation about it afterward. And I think conversations always lead to action. And I think, that's one simple way that you can do it.
Absolutely.
Just supporting work like this and the 13th, and, there are tons of books out there on the new Jim Crow. Just getting groups of people together to see this and adding to the conversation helps.
Well, when can we help you support, and by supporting this film? When does the film come out?
The film comes out here in Philly Friday, September 1st.
September 1st.
And it's also at Cherry Hill, it's in Plymouth Meeting, so it's all around.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate your time. The movie was incredible. Please, please, please go out and support this film. Crown Heights will be in theaters on September the 1st. But that's all the time we have on My New Philly, where something is always new
And
everything is
everything's
always
always
Philly.